At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up? I don't even want to do my traditional yo like that. What the hell did we just watch? Because I really don't know. I don't know what that was. Social media, Discord, everywhere. It's kind of a shit show. The meltdown is real. It's happening. 3 straight losses now. It's understandable why everyone's pissed off. 3 straight losses. 2 of those losses are to teams you felt like going into you should win. In fact, I think majority of you guys, myself, all felt like Arkansas going into the Ole Miss game. They were better than Ole Miss. They should have won that one. Yeah, you had to travel, but Arkansas was going to rebound, and they clearly didn't. And then Auburn, on paper, I think we could also argue, okay, Arkansas is better. At home, what'd they say, 75,000 people? That was the attendance, or north of 74,000 people. I commend the job that Sam Pittman has done, all things considered. I really do. I commend what he's done. You go from 0-16 in conference play in 2 years to year one, you're beating, ranked SEC teams, or at least a SEC team. You swept the state of Mississippi. You beat Tennessee. You were good enough to beat Mizzou, but you couldn't do it with a backup quarterback. And then you go to the offseason. You finally have a full, uninterrupted offseason, no COVID stuff, you could actually have spring camp. You felt pretty comfortable. Okay, Odom is going to get to develop the back end of the depth chart. Bryles was finally going to have that dual threat quarterback that could operate the offense more effectively, which he has. Make no mistake about it. KJ Jefferson has done a great job this year. But this 3-game losing streak, it's just I don't understand. It almost felt predictable that the defense was going to fall apart at the halfway point. We talked about it coming out of the Georgia game. Hell, we talked about it before Georgia. Last year at the halfway point, the defense fell apart. They're doing it again. I don't know. Listen, we could sit here and talk about, well, Ty, they don't have the quality depth as you like to talk about. They don't have it yet. They're banged up, Ty. They had to go without a couple of guys. Obviously, Catalon is a huge loss, but I thought Slusher, outside of the one play that he gave up, outside of that, Slusher played pretty damn good. Took a couple of poor angles on some ball carriers. things that I mean, it's not so much what Slusher did as much as just missing the production you got out of Catalan. That's what you were really missing. So it is a step backwards without him. Utsi, of course, was out, but you ran a 4-man front, which we told you. We talked about it all last week. They're working out in the 4-man front. We're going to see more of that 4-2-5 that we thought we were going to see more of earlier in the year. And it didn't matter. The first thing that stands out, yes, the officiating was atrocious. Okay? That's the expectation now. When you play Auburn, you're also going to have to deal with apparently terrible officiating. Hell, you got to deal with that week in and week out anyways. I mean, Auburn wasn't the only game a year ago that was poorly officiated. You go to the LSU game, there were some horrible – the Mizzou game last year was horribly officiated. Today was no different. I don't know why. The belief is always that they protect their ranked teams. They didn't protect anybody today except Auburn. There's no doubt that Auburn benefited today. The amount of momentum-killing penalties or the no calls, you go to that Burks slant route on the 2-point conversion. Guys, you can't wrap up the receiver before the receiver can make a play on the ball. You can't do that. Defender clearly was wrapped around Treylon Burks. He couldn't make a play on the ball. It was a well-thrown ball. He should have been able to catch it, but he couldn't because he had a defender wrapped around his body. That should have been a flag. If you're going to call Mo Brown for that PI call, when was that, the beginning of the second quarter? You're going to call him for that, a very limited contact, overthrown, uncatchable ball. You're going to call that a PI. Then you go to the third quarter when they get Hudson Clark on a PI that was not catchable. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Those should not have been PIs, and that 2-point conversion play to Burks should have been a PI. You're not going to convince me that this game was all on anybody. It's not all on anybody. It's not all on Sam Pittman. It's not all on Briles. It's not all on Barry Odom. If you believe that, I think you spent too much time looking and reading Discord and social media instead of watching the damn game. It was a little bit of everything. Defense did not look prepared at all. I don't know if all they did was, we're just going to line up a fourth guy and it's business as usual week in and week out as far as game prep for Auburn. I don't know. I've never – that elite – you remember, I've been told this multiple times. That elite defensive line finally got what they wanted. You got a 4-man front and you still could not apply pressure. Remember, that's what I've been griping about all year. Not so much about what they can and can't do against the run. They did better against the run. They really did. The game plan was force Nix to beat you with his arm, which also means you're going to have to get some consistent pressure on the guy. But given a clean pocket, he's a sub 57% pass completion quarterback. And he ripped Arkansas to shreds. He ripped them apart. Not a ton of yardage, but in terms of what he did, his production on the field, and what he could do on big downs, it didn't matter. It didn't matter first, second, or third down. He had all day to throw the ball, and he picked you apart. He wasn't asked to throw. He didn't have to have 300 total yards of offense. Again, defense looked out of place in the secondary. They were playing, I don't know what that was, soft cover 4 coverage. I don't know what it was. Everybody dropping back, loose zone coverage, giving the receivers 10 yards of space. I don't know. He does that a lot where he doesn't mind check down throws. We're going to give up 5, 6. I mean, that's a lot of defenses do that. We're going to force you to beat us on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. But it didn't matter. And they weren't great on 3rd down, and they still were able to kind of do whatever they wanted. When they needed a big drive, they came up with a big drive. Horrible defense. Offense, I don't know what to tell you about the first down. And 3rd down was better, and that's what's crazy. 3rd down play calling was arguably some of the best in terms of conversions. It's your best 3rd down conversion rate, I think, of the year. But your first down play calling continuously puts you back behind the sticks. Instead of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, it was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and whatever. You weren't setting yourself up for success or a higher chance of success on 3rd down. I think you had 2 drop balls. There were things that were out of Kendall's control for sure. And it wasn't, I don't agree that it was, I've had a few people tell me this is his worst game. I don't know. It wasn't very good. I know that it was terrible. It was terrible is what it was, but I still don't know if it was his worst, because he's had some other games where you just didn't know what the hell they were doing on offense. It resembled the Georgia game in terms of preparation on both sides of the ball. The defense, it's just more of the same. 3 straight weeks of just complete shit dog play, man. Hudson Clark getting beat. I mean, he's a liability. Man coverage, he's a liability. I don't know what else to tell people. I really don't. He's physical. I've said that. He'll lay the pop. He's a physical corner. Maybe move him to safety or something. I don't know, but I don't trust him on an island against anybody. Mo Brown played really well. Again, that PI call in the second quarter was dog shit. That pick was nice. I really don't know. This is the first time since Sam Pittman's been the head coach that I'm actually pissed at a game. I'm actually pissed. That was some of the worst execution I've ever seen. I don't know. As fans, I mean, we're all critics. We're all armchair quarterbacks. We're all armchair coordinators. But I also know what my eyes tell me. I can see pretty clearly that what's been going on defense is problematic. Is this going to be the case now? Catalan's out and your defense is just dog shit. Is that the expectation? He's out. Defense is done. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, the officiating was terrible, but it wasn't solely on officiating. Arkansas didn't play well enough to overcome bad officiating, and I mean, they did, I don't know why you drop KJ back in the end zone after just giving up a sack. I don't know why you drop him back. I have no idea. I don't know why you do that. At that point, you've now got to salvage the drive and just hope you can punt the ball and do something else. You cannot drop your quarterback back in the end zone in that situation after just giving up a sack. Your left side of your offensive line got dominated on back-to-back plays, and you decide to drop back your quarterback. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't get that decision at all. And you give up a safety. I don't know what that means. They were dog shit with him. With who? Awful, awful, awful game. Every time KJ gets close to our own end zone, it always ends badly. Who else is Arkansas going to get besides Briles? Yeah, I don't know who's saying to fire Briles. I don't think you fire anybody. It's just got to have better game management, man. And he called a great game against Ole Miss, and they're just not consistent on offense, and we've seen this. We saw it last year. They're not consistent on offense. Should have been able to move the ball a little bit easier. Auburn is not an elite defense. You should have been able to score. You should, especially towards the end. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand why on third down, okay, you're playing behind the sticks, or you're playing on the majority of your third downs now are 3rd and 7 or worse. That's the majority of their third downs, because apparently you don't know what the hell you're doing on. Remember what I said going into Georgia, your first down sets up your third down. If you're going to have a third down, then your first down is going to set it up. It's imperative that you get, in front of the sticks, in front of the line of scrimmage, and make third down more than just manageable. Make it 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Got to do everything you can, right? Instead, your third down's a majority. They're 3rd and long, right? Now, today they did pretty well on third down. Again, we'll get to that in just a second. But why, when you're having KJ on an obvious throwing down, by the way, they don't always throw it on 3rd and long. We have seen him run the ball on 3rd and 12. We've seen him do that. But on third down, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, you're running a fade route down the sidelines. And correct me if I'm wrong, with a corner and a safety over the top on Burks, that's not there. So your check down throw is a true freshman wide receiver a yard behind the line of scrimmage? What? And that's his check. And you can't blame KJ because that's all he has. That's the routes that are written on that particular play. You don't have a running back letting loose over the middle. You don't have someone running a quick hitch. You don't have anyone with a slant or an 8 and out or a 5 and out. You don't have anyone running a sideline hitch. Nothing. Your check down is a sideline throw to a true freshman wide receiver? Or at times this year, a running back? Like, what are we doing? What the hell is this? Why are you doing? And we talked about this last year. Why are third downs on obvious passing downs? Why are you not running? Why do you not have guys running routes that are first down routes? That are again, you're talking about setting yourself up for third and short where you're not getting it. So coming up, all right, well now it's 3rd and 9. Everyone needs to be available around the first down marker. That's where the route needs to end, and that's where you either run comeback, hitch routes, slants, anything. But your check down throw is to a true freshman receiver a half a yard behind the line of scrimmage? We've seen them do this time and time again. And sometimes you'll see KJ neglect the check down. He'll say, nope, not doing that, and take off and run. And on that particular play, I don't think he would have gotten the first. I think linebacker was spying him. It was a really well defended play by Auburn. But you have to give yourself a chance, and you've got to be able to put your playmakers in a position where they can get the first down. He's not getting a first down from a yard and a half behind the line of scrimmage. Auburn is disciplined enough with Harsin and with what they do on defense. They're not going to give that up, and that's your route that you're running on third and 8 and 3rd and 9, whatever it was. We've seen them do that multiple times, and a lot of times KJ will neglect it and he'll tuck it and run. Yeah, I'm not going to – I don't know who's crapping on – I'm trying to read chat, but, I mean, it's just this is probably the angriest I've ever been on a postgame show. I don't understand what they're doing. I'm not putting it all on anybody, definitely not putting it all on Sam Pittman, but I just don't understand how they're not better prepared for this game. I don't understand their third down decision-making most of the time. Again, what's crazy is on third down, they're actually not terrible. Their third down production was pretty good. Wasn't great, but it's pretty good. You were 10 of 19 on third down. Look what you did on 4th down. You want to question what the hell they're doing on these pivotal downs. 0 for 3 on 4th down. You don't see that very often. Usually you'll get at least one. You go 0 for 3. You also only put up 23 points with 460 yards of offense. I don't get that. 228 yards through the air. KJ was 21 to 35. Honestly, KJ was nothing about this game was on KJ. And if you say otherwise, I don't think you watched the game. 232 yards on the ground. Typically, when you're rushing north of 220, 230 yards, you should be having a pretty good day. And you damn sure should have more than 23 points on the board. Penalties weren't bad. Hell, Auburn ended up with 6 penalties for 49 yards. Arkansas had 4 for 41. You had the turnover. Again, I mean, is what it is, right? I mean, it's just nothing. You're going to turn the ball over once. It's SEC play after all. But Bo Nix looked like an All-American. 21 of 26 for almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Statistically, it's the best game he's had all year in terms of pass completion. I'm pretty sure. And the other thing that they did really well, I mean, he had – how many different receivers did he have? Like 8? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different receivers. So you're spreading the ball out. You're spreading the wealth out to these guys. That's always a good indicator when you're hitting 6 or 7 different receivers a game, different targets. Arkansas, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your distribution in the passing game was pretty good. Treylon Burks, 9 catches, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyson Morris, 3 catches, 32 yards. Warren Thompson, who ran a wrong route there at the end, but I mean, it's hard to put anything on anybody else outside of – it's like the execution wasn't there on defense, and I'm having a hard time faulting any individual on offense outside of Kendall Briles. I do agree that this is one of his bottom performances as a play caller since being at Arkansas. I can't speak to Florida State or wherever else, Houston, but since being at Arkansas, the execution wasn't there. And again, that's not all on him, but it's hard to look at any one individual and go, well, that guy was bad. Your quarterback play was Your quarterback play was pretty damn solid. Again, 21 of 35 is not half bad. Defense, Auburn, you got to tip the cap to Auburn's defense. They played great. I mean, they really did. They did a good job of, I mean, anytime you force an opposing offense to go 0 for 3 on fourth down, that's pretty impressive. You know, how many yards, you know, KJ's longest run was 20 yards. They didn't give up a lot of those big play yards or big plays in this game. Didn't give up a lot of, you know, no deep balls, nothing like that. No long runs outside of maybe a couple. It's hard to fault anybody on offense outside the guy calling the plays. Again, I don't understand why the hell you've got your quarterback in the end zone throwing the ball after you just gave up a sack. And then you give up 2 in a row sacks and a safety. It's just disgusting. KJ is far from the problem. I don't know who's saying KJ is the problem. That's not correct. All of KJ's inaccuracies can be solved by footwork if he can spend the summer. Yeah, but look, you're not going to be perfect, Mike Mary Hoggard. You're not going to throw every play. Every throw is not going to be precise. No quarterback. I mean, hell, even Bo Nix, he was on it today. There's no doubt he was accurate as hell. His release was so fast. That's hard. That's hard for a defensive line to make plays when he's letting go of the ball as quick as he was. They still weren't ever getting pressure when he was standing back in the pocket. But no quarterback's going to deliver every single throw. And I do agree, he probably does need a little bit of work in the foot department. Look at where the program is coming from. We're not going to be an immediate elite SEC building program. Takes time. Right. I think you just want to avoid 3 straight losses. I think your defense, they look as though they've let go of the rope. That's what they look like. UAPB is not beating Arkansas. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. I don't know what the score. It feels like, hell, I don't know what the defense is going to do next week for Pine Bluff because I really don't know what Pine Bluff does. But I'll tell you this much. I don't know that I have very much confidence in the defense stopping anybody. Again, just like last year at the halfway point, your offense has to bail your defense out. When they don't, you're going to lose. That's what they are right now. Barry Odom doesn't look like he'll get hired away now. I don't think you're wrong, Chandler. I don't think you're wrong, man. Someone was telling me I don't know shit about something, but the comment got deleted. That's too bad. I wanted to read that. Ty, what will Kendall do when Burks isn't here anymore? Imagine how much more we will complain because Burks bails us out so much. Well, you got some questions at wide receiver, but I think they're still in pretty good shape. I still like Keytron Jackson. Warren Thompson will be back. But, yeah, I don't think you have another Treylon. Nobody has a Treylon Burks coming back next year. Clearly, Treylon Burks he's first-round talent. We've been saying that all year. KJ is good. If you don't think so, then you know nothing, my friend. You're correct. I agree with that. Come on, where was why? Don't delete. If you're gonna say I know nothing, then own up to it. Don't delete your comment. Or did Kelly delete it? Kelly, let them. If they're telling me I don't know nothing, I want to read it. I want to read what they have to say. I'm done. I'm done. Sick of giving up golf on Saturday for this shit. I'm going to tell you this much. I'm not saying this. This isn't a bitter. This is just being around Razorback football as long as a lot of us have. I know some of you are older than I am. But 3 straight losses. I mean, you had 74,000 people. You're not getting that again. I don't. I'm going to be surprised. Let's put it this way. Never say never. I don't deal in the absolute here, but I'm going to be shocked if they get north of 50,000 people for the Pine Bluff game down in Little Rock. I'm going to be surprised when you have. Let me pull that up here. I'm trying to look at the rest of the schedule. I haven't even thought of the schedule. Mississippi State. I'm going to be surprised that you get north of I don't know, 60,000 people. And Mizzou at the end of the year to end it all off. You've got UAPB left, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, Mizzou, and I'm unprepared to say you have more than one for sure winnable game. That is the fact of the matter right now. That is the fact of the matter. There's no game that I look at now and go, oh, well, yeah, okay, you're better than them. That's gone. That's gone. Outside of UAPB, and I don't know shit about UAPB. I don't know what they do. I don't even know their record. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got my work cut out for me this week on them. And that is, by the way, another 11 a.m. kickoff. Sam Pittman 0 for 6 now on 11 a.m. games. I think that's what I saw, 0 for 6. But outside of UAPB, you got 4 games left after that. I'm not prepared to say any of them are for sure wins. I would say you're most likely you should be favored against Mizzou, but even that game I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared to say that. We're going to have to reassess where we're at. I am coming down off my 8-4. I'm finally coming down off that. A 3-game losing streak, how could you not, especially with the way the defense is just falling apart. I'm not giving up on them. I'm not saying that all of a sudden they're not going bowling. I'm not saying that, but I'm definitely off my 8-4. I just it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I'm saying my own personal belief now is 8-4 seems pretty far away. Got to take care of business against UAPB and then get into your bye week, lick your wounds, and get prepared for the rest of your season. Mississippi State on the 6th of November. 13th, you're at LSU. At Alabama on the 20th, and you come back home on the 26th to end the season against Missouri. There's a realistic possibility you're riding another 3-game losing streak going into the Mizzou game. How many people do you think show up for that? And do you fault them? I had people telling me you should always fill up the stadium. You should always go. I mean, do you think that happens? If you get past UAPB and you lose, let's say I don't know what you do against Mississippi State right now. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not prepared to say you win that. How many people are going to be at that game? And it's hard to fault anybody. It's hard to fault anybody. Now, I always believe if you have a ticket, you should try to go. You should absolutely try to go if you have a ticket. But I'm not going to die on the hill of, well, you should go no matter what. Roar. I'm not that guy. That's not who I am. I'm not going to tell you should support your team. You should. Absolutely. But I'm not going to get pissed at somebody who decides, you know what? I'm going to go sit in a deer stand and listen to the game on whatever app or whatever. Or I'm going to stay home today. I'm not gonna die on the hill of telling people you have to go to these games. I think you should. You should always support your team, yes. But it's like what I said during the Chad Morris era. Do you blame anybody for not supporting what Chad Morris did? Now this is not that. This is not what that is. That was different. That was, good God. I don't even know how you define what that was with Chad Morris. But 3-game losing streak. You should put that at an end against UAPB. Collect yourselves. Go into your bye week, come out ready to kick some ass and beat Mississippi State. Look, you're coming off a bye week. Mississippi State, again, that game for me is up in the air right now. I'm not, like I said, I'm not prepared to say any of these games are for sure wins. I'm not prepared to do it. We had some super chats. I'm sorry. Let me scroll up here. And yes, this will probably be one of my most disliked videos, and I don't really care because those dislikes still count as views. So, haha, joke's on you. David Scott said, shut up with shitting on Pittman. Now, I don't know if this was targeted at me or somebody else. Like Arkansas could find a better coach. I'm sold on Pittman. We need talent. That was from David Scott. I don't think that was pointed at me. Pittman needs needs a slap. Well, I don't know where the super chats went, so I was trying to look for them. I don't know where they went. Damn it, my bad. And you don't have an option to look at super chat. That's kind of ridiculous. Play calling, not good. Go UAPB go, says DW. Okay. Bo Nix can play pretty well. Auburn has a ton of drop passes. Yeah, they lead the SEC in drop passes. Catalan was an All-American, and it showed how much Arkansas depended on him, says Michael Kopesky. Yeah, that could be a part of it, but I do think Schlesser still stepped up and played pretty well. The offensive issues were on KB. His first down calls were almost as bad as his third down calls. KJ's a great quarterback. It was KB's worst called game since KB got here. That's from Mr. T-Dub. Can Anthony Black just commit today? I need good news. He's trending to Arkansas, by the way. Facts, defense had 3 starters. Defense had 3 starters today that were scholarship players recruited out of high school. Caleb Deese is War Eagle. Briles will still make horrible first down calls during the bye week. Probably. I think he gets exposed from time to time, especially on his first down and third down play calling. Today was different. They were a little bit better on third down. This is one of their better third down in terms of on the stat sheet. Again, 10 of 19's you're comfortable with that. Sure, you would like it to be better, but anytime you're floating around 50%, you're going to take that. But you go back to the ones that he missed, to the other 9 third downs. I think half of them were third and long situations. Maybe the majority of them were third and long situations. You have to shorten. You can't play. You cannot expect. Arkansas is not the caliber of offense yet where third downs are just automatic. They're not there. They're just not there yet, man. And I don't know that they get there this season or not. There's some games left this year that I think on defense or on offense they're going to play really well. But overall, they're not that caliber of offense where they're just reliable on third down. So you can't afford these 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8 third down situations. You've got to get better on first down play calling, and it's predictable. Majority of the time, it's going to be a run. It's going to be a give to a running back. Auburn saw it. They sold out for it, and they typically stopped Arkansas. Go back, look at the first down runs. I don't know that they had one get more than maybe 4 yards. It's predictable. Auburn knows what's coming. Ole Miss knew what was coming. They couldn't stop it. Georgia was 3 steps ahead of the offense. The offense was 3 steps ahead of Barry Odom. Just kind of is what it is. What did Marlon say? Some people can't handle your honesty. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm not reading all of chat, so if they Tusky says, keep your head on. My head's up. I'm disappointed in what we saw today. And like I said, this was probably the first time since Sam Pittman's been the head coach where after a game I was just pissed. Like, what did we just witness? What did we just watch from this Arkansas defense? What is happening? I don't understand it. And, yeah, I mean, right now you're trending down on defense. You can pick yourself up getting ready for Pine Bluff. You're going into a bye week. God willing, you go into your bye week healthy coming out of the Pine Bluff game. You know, you recollect yourself. There's an opportunity here. And I do wonder, this late in the year, having a bye week, how much of that has played a role into what's happening. Probably to some degree, sure. They needed it. They need it now. They could really use it now, but I'm kind of glad they're using it before going into, Mississippi State or, playing Mississippi State. Of course, that game's at home. Look where we came from. To go from a 2-10 laughingstock to a competitive bowl eligible team is not easy, especially we've talked about that. Yeah, for sure. It's just you expect more from a Kendall Briles, Barry Odom, offense and defense. Kendall Briles, again, I don't know that this was his worst game. I really don't know. I don't think that it was. I mean, they did score before the end of the first half, but, again, you go back to some of the play calling was questionable. I don't think I'm not going to disagree with you. Week in and week out. No one says rest in peace bowl eligibility. Before bye week, yes, for sure. It's going to be, I think 6 wins is still, I think you're going bowling. I'm definitely peeling off the 8-4 for sure. Catalan made a business decision. He may have. He's out for UAPB. Well, he was out today. You can't blame the refs. You can't put it all on the refs, but they certainly played a much larger role than they should have. I don't know. I don't know how anyone would disagree with that. Everyone on Tim Tebow said it today on Twitter. I think Trey Biddy mentioned it on Twitter. the SEC, if we could take away one thing that we all agree on, I would say the vast majority of us agree on. Yes, again, Kendall did not call a very good game. Barry Odom's defense looks like it's collapsed. Sam Pittman will take some of the heat today, I'm sure. But the SEC officiating played too much of an impact today. Now, the score looks worse than I think the game really was, because I really think, you gift wrapped them a touchdown with that KJ Jefferson sack in the end zone, or fumble, whatever you want to call it. You gift wrap that. Hey, they didn't make mistakes on special teams outside of that punt that should have been at the 20. I don't know why they didn't try to field that punt. I need to go back and watch that. It looked to me like Simeon Blair was on punt return, but I don't know. I don't know why no one was there to make a play on that to prevent that ball from going back behind the 10, which then resulted 3 plays later a sack in the end zone, or the defensive touchdown. That was definitely a momentum killer. That was a momentum crusher. You force them to punt. Your offense is getting the ball back. You felt like things are heating up, and then you take over from your own 10-yard line, and then 3 plays later you give up a defensive touchdown. I need to go back and watch that. I cannot figure out why no one was there to field that punt. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was just maybe it was a shorter punt than it was meant to be, and it was I don't know. I don't know if the punt returner just. If did I say Simeon Blair? Not Simeon Blair. Punt returner. We've talked about him. Perotti. I don't know why he wasn't there to field that punt. So I'm going to need to go back and watch that. But yeah, a lot of mistakes today. A lot of issues. Not very well coached football today. They look undisciplined. Well, defense they look like they let go of the rope. I was talking about that with a friend of mine earlier. The defense, it seemed like, they weren't hustling to get back on their side of the field to get ready to make the next, to get ready for the next play. They were kind of walking around a little bit. They didn't play with the same intensity and energy that they had at the beginning of the year. I'm not saying they let go of the rope. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I think that's why I'm pissed. I just don't know what I just watched. We had a bad game. Can't argue with that. Main reasons we lost our secondary, Briles play calling, the refs, and lack of depth, says Mr. Bloodline. Perhaps refs should fall under NCAA control. Whoever grades out the best gets to do Power 5 games. Ty, I think Georgia exposed us a little bit, to be honest. We talked about that coming out of Georgia. I'm worried that Georgia exposed Arkansas on both sides of the ball. Now, Ole Miss wasn't good enough to capitalize because their defense is bottom 3 in the SEC. Arkansas, power run, and KJ was just too much for them. But, I mean, coming into this game, I didn't think Auburn was going to have that big of an impact on defense like they did. I mean, they did a pretty good job trying to contain KJ, especially when he tried to let loose and run. Like I said, you didn't have a lot of big plays from the line of scrimmage. And it kind of makes you wonder, did Auburn or Georgia, did they expose you on both sides of the ball? Or have you let them now beat you 3 weeks in a row or two more weeks? Is that what's going on? What is this team's deal that they can't pick themselves up and collect themselves on both sides of the ball at the halfway point in the year and play solid football on both sides of the ball? Why? It's now back-to-back years we've seen that. At the halfway point, it's like, yeah, you'll get one side of the ball play great, i.e. Ole Miss offense. But then they're inconsistent. Your defense is trash today. They were terrible. Defense was not good. I don't know. I don't know how you gave up those big plays. And yeah, I talked about the officiating. It was not good. It was I don't know how you go back to that 2-point conversion on Traylon Burke. I don't know how that's not a PI. If you're gonna call Mo Brown for that limited contact, overthrown, uncatchable ball, you're gonna call that PI, but not that 2-point conversion throw off the slant route to Traylon Burks. And then Hudson Clark, ball was overthrown. And I agree, on that play, he shouldn't have made any contact, but regardless, it was overthrown and uncatchable. Why are you throwing the flag? I don't get it. And it seemed like when Arkansas had some positivity going, the SEC officials, here they are. They make a big splash with a bullshit penalty. I don't know. I'll take that Georgia. I'll take that GA every year. I don't know what you're talking about. Since he more than likely won't be as good. I don't know what you're talking about. The PI call when Nix threw the ball out of bounds was the only legit terrible call. Everything else was debate. What? You really thought that Mo Brown call was a legit PI call? No. Ball wasn't catchable. Hell, you had the CBS announcer saying that was not a PI call. I think you might want to go back and watch that again. Big money is Bama for the Iron Bowl is all it is. Ty. KJ will be Arkansas great statistically. Just hope it transfers to wins. Defense has to improve. If anyone thought the Hogs would be contending for the West title, then you were living in La La Land. Just David Scott. Ty, I agree with you. KJ is our quarterback. I'm behind him. He's really good. My point is eliteness could be just a little footwork play or footwork away. I need my glasses. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. KJ is not the problem. Play calling is. I would agree with that. Play calling has not been sound. Oh, well, it's time to move on from football this year. Living life. This is Carpenter, Jay Carpenter. So everyone needs to chill on KJ. KJ is one of the best quarterbacks we've had since Brandon Allen. I think you're correct. Pittman deserves better. This is Josh Huffman. I don't know, man. Fans showed up for him today. He asked the fans to show up. They did. And the product on the field today was not good. Just not good. Ty, do you think Hudson Clark is a starter? No. I don't know why Bishop wasn't playing every down. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if that was just rotating and Auburn identified that Clark was on the field and did whatever they had to do. Who's going to the Red White? Yeah, scrimmage tomorrow. What time is that? 3 p.m.? Everyone hated on Brandon Allen. They did. They absolutely hated on Brandon Allen. He's one of the most hated quarterbacks. A third-year KJ is going to be fun to see next year. I agree with that too. I mean, he's going to have to have some help around him next year. But the good news is you're returning, the Raheem Sanders, AJ Green, Dominic Johnson. Dominic Johnson looked good early on. I really don't know why they didn't just keep feeding him. But then again, Rocket Sanders had a couple of good runs. Bishop is hurt per Sam. Okay, I didn't hear that. Thought I saw him play. 2 p.m. Okay. Red White scrimmage tomorrow's at 2 p.m. Thank you, Kelly. At least we will win next week. Well, we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. We're gonna talk about UAPB next Friday, of course. Monday, I don't know. We're gonna go over another recap. We know that the post-game shows are mostly just reactions, but or a immediate post-game reaction. Monday, we're gonna the dust will have settled by then. We're going to take another look, figure out what the hell happened. I mean, right now it's real easy to just say it's real easy today to put it on the coaches. And I think that's right now, I think that's pretty adequate. Kendall Briles, Barry Odom, these guys just didn't look prepared at all. Offense could not keep in rhythm. The defense never really found itself. They made a couple of good plays out in the flats. It's hard to run out in the flats on Arkansas, but Auburn didn't really have to. And again, it's not all on Kendall. It's not all on Barry Odom. It's definitely not all on Sam Pittman. It's not all on SEC officiating. It's just a little bit of each, or a lot of each, maybe you could say. Will UAPB have more fans at the game next? No. I agree, Ty. Coaches need to look in the mirror. You thought that Georgia game where Georgia held a mirror up to what you were doing on both sides of the ball, and you felt like, well, at least the offense responded going into Ole Miss. Defense was nowhere to be found. this week it was a very offense looked incomplete. They looked like they halfway. It's like they went over their game plan for like a day, their install for Auburn, and then just kind of carried on. I don't know. I really don't know what the hell happened on offense. I mean, again, we'll have to watch it. I'm going to have to suck it up and watch this game again if I'm able to tomorrow. We've got kind of I think we have a busy day. Actually, as soon as we're done here, we're going to leave to go to Missouri. And then tomorrow, I think we've got plans. So I'm going to have to find time to watch this disgusting game again. Please pray for me. Thoughts and prayers, please. Yeah. Disappointed. I've kind of come down off the pissed phase. I'm just disappointed. I really am. There's no shame in losing to Georgia. There's not. But you hoped that you came out of that game ready to fix – ready to fix the things that went wrong. You felt like based on what we had seen going into Georgia that, okay, Arkansas is good enough. They're going to be able to fix some of these mistakes. They actually have depth now on the defensive line. You feel pretty good about how far the linebackers have come, in terms of having someone they could rotate with comfortably. But they haven't been able to fix it. We've had moments, right? I mean, you saw Slusher today. I mean, he saved what could have been a really long run. He turned it into a 5-yard gain because Slusher laid the boom. He was there to make the play on an open field solo tackle. It was a great play by him, right? Hudson Clark, despite being a liability, laid the boom on. Was that? It wasn't special teams. That was the walk-on that made that play. Well, he's a walk-on too, but walk-on linebacker Woodard made that play. That was great by him. I mean, that dude is physical, 6'3", like 240. He's going to be someone who you probably expect next year to rotate, assuming the guys from the last couple of classes don't step up. Brody, dude's got to go. I wouldn't do anything with him right now. He's the only one who could field punts. He can't return a damn thing, but he can at least field punts. That's about all he can do, but nobody else can. You feel like anyone else is just going to muff the punt. No one. You don't have any threat of a return game. You have no threat of a punt return game whatsoever. We cannot win in the SEC. Our program fell for too long. Well, you fall to 1-3. 1-3 in conference play, man. 1-3. Can you? The question was, how well do you navigate this 4-game gauntlet? And I think you can argue not very well. You did not go through that gauntlet very well at all. You went 1-3. You got a good quality win against A&M, and you got to give Arkansas credit. That was a really well complete game. KJ goes out in the third quarter, and then he comes back, and you see how important he is to that offense when he comes back in late in the fourth quarter. No doubt they put up more points. Texas game before the gauntlet that we always talk about, they played great. But now that seems so long ago because now you're riding a 3-game losing streak. Again, you're going to put that to an end. You ought to be favored. I don't know what the line's going to be against Pine Bluff. You ought to be favored by quite a bit. But after that, I just don't see any for sure games that you circle and say, well, you're winning that. Or you're winning that. Oh, you're damn sure winning that. I don't see that. That is now, it's gone. It's vanished. And that's what today told you. Now, is 8-4, is it all bad? Is it all negative? No. You still got KJ. You still got Treylon Burks. You still got the 15 running backs that are capable of getting 5.5, 6 yards of carry and busting loose, right? You still have a competent, as far as I could tell, healthy linebacking core, one of the best 3 linebackers in the SEC. You still got Mo Brown, right? There's still positives here. It's not all gone. It's not flush it down the toilet. It's over with. We're not going bowling. It's not that. You can recover, believe it or not. It's just the gauntlet of the SEC is so difficult. And this is what we were talking about. Is Arkansas prepared year 2 to go into this 4-game gauntlet? How well do they come out of it? The answer is not very well. Not as well as we had hoped. I wanted them to finish 500. Beat A&M and beat Ole Miss. Coming into it, I felt like those are 2 games you should be able to win, and maybe even Auburn. Well, actually, it was going into the gauntlet. I thought Auburn and A&M were your gettable games. Ole Miss's offense worried me, and rightfully so. But the way they came out of A&M, you felt pretty confident. Like, okay, they're all right. Georgia, we're going to chalk up as an L, but they could very well go 3-1. Instead, you go 1-3. They didn't respond well. They're going to have to pick themselves back up and get it figured out. There's no doubt about that. You've got the talent to do it. And but if this is how the defense is going to play the rest of the year, I don't know. But again, I'm not someone who buys all in, even though things look really bad right now, like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not buying into that. I think you have the pieces to pick yourself up and to get it going again. You might have to outscore people. You might have to hang. Now, it might be true. You may have to score 40 points a week. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it could be. It very well could be. That's not a good situation. That's not a good situation for your defense to be in. It's I don't know. That's not good. But again, we know they've got the talent on offense to hang some points. Play calling's got to get cleaned up. Third down play calling, you got to be less predictable on first down. They've cleaned up penalties. They've done a really good job cleaning up penalties. They really have. They've responded well. Special teams has improved. I'll tip my cap. They have improved on special teams. They're not making as many mistakes. We're not having to burn timeouts when the punt team's on the field. We're not out of position. We're not getting, holding calls and illegal man downfields. They're not called as often. Now things have switched. Now it's all on the defense, and the defense just has to respond. So we'll see if they do that. Arkansas, well, where'd it go? Arkansas's Alabama's Tennessee to Auburn. T-Dub says the Pittman honeymoon is over. We lost 2 games. We should have won. I'm still behind him 100, but it's time to right the ship. I agree. Kyle says, sorry, y'all, we can't win the West. No, you're not going to win the West, but you've got to salvage this season. 8-4 is not completely out of the picture, but I'm definitely backing off my 8-4 prediction. Tide's just frustrating because we want to see improvements from week to week, and then we don't. I'm still happy with where we are in year 2. And look, we said a year ago they were good enough to win 6 games on a 10-game SEC-only schedule. I still believe this team was good enough to win 8 games. I don't know, the talent is there. You feel like, again, the depth you feel a little bit better about. By the way, Ridgeway kind of stepped up a little bit today. It's good to see him. The other guys not so much. But it's good to see Ridgeway come in and play. Jashad Stewart had a forced fumble. I hadn't even talked about that. I mean, that shows you how angry I was about this game. That was a fumble. And you got robbed on the fumble. That's how bad really this thing kind of how just ridiculous this game was. There's so much we could sit here and pick apart, and you forget about one of the biggest things that happened. That was clearly a fumble you didn't get. Again, for anyone who says that you should have overcome this officiating, I don't know how you do it. I really don't. When you're missing PI calls and you're giving PI calls to Auburn on opportunistic downs, and then you're not even getting a clear fumble right, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I don't know what the hell you're watching. That's hard to overcome. You've got everyone talking about it on Twitter. People are, and again, fans are going to be pissed about officiating anyways. But even people who don't typically bitch about officiating are bitching that they have too much of an impact, and they had too much of an impact today, and they did. It's hard to overcome that. But even if you take those away, I don't know that Arkansas played well enough to win today. And that's what's so frustrating, and that's why I'm angry. It's a game where you felt like, okay, yeah, officiating was terrible. What else is new? It was really bad. They just happened to look so bad that everyone saw it this weekend, right? Just like last year when they messed things up with Auburn, giving them that the not giving Arkansas the ball to end the game last year. And here we are again. It's frustrating is not even, I don't know. But you still didn't play good enough that I don't know that even if those things didn't happen that you win this game. That's what's so damn frustrating about this game. A year one coached sub 55% passing quarterback team whose run game, by the way, you eliminated and well, not eliminated, but you slowed down a lot. You forced Bo Nix to beat you with his arm, and he did exactly that. Of course, he has an All-American game against Arkansas. And by the way, your secondary coming into this game, top 5 in the country in terms of passing yards allowed. David Scott says still going to go 8-4. I think we beat LSU as long as the refs don't help save Orgeron's job if he makes it to Orgeron or to Arkansas that week. Can't blame the refs. Jimmy Johnson said it best. Yeah, but you can't say they had a bigger impact than they should have, David. I don't know. You're gonna die on that hill. Have at it, but you're gonna be the only one. I mean, the officiating shouldn't have that large of an impact on a game, and you've got to call those PI calls both ways. That was clearly a fumble recovery, which, by the way, would have put you deep into their territory in a game where you were struggling to score in. So you cannot tell me that didn't have an impact. It most certainly did. LSU beat Florida 49-42. I'm not telling you that Arkansas beats LSU. I'm not going to say that. Refs determined major plays and at least 2 touchdowns, said Ricky Johnson. All right. Now people are mad about possibly going 7-5, question mark. I'm not with that. Maybe a little disappointing given how we climbed in the polls compared to our preseason expectations. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I'm mad about the game, Ryan, if you're talking to me. I'm upset about how today went, but I'm still, like I said, it's not over. I'm not hitting the eject button. But I certainly am concerned. I'm very much concerned about what's going on defense, and I'm concerned about the play calling on offense by Kendall Briles. Arkansas needs to come out firing on offense in the first half. 19-point swing just based on bad calls, says Ryan. The SEC officiating, they just continue to have too big of an impact on games like this, and they shouldn't have. Is that clear? I would like to, even though I'm not sure Arkansas wins this game, even with better officiating, I would like to be given the opportunity, right? I would like to see how things would have unfolded had they given Arkansas that fumble, had they called those PI calls, had they not called the PI call on Monteric Brown. I'd like to see how things would have gone different when you bunch all of those together. So, wow, dude, the talent to do what? Why would anyone think this team could win 8 games this year? Auburn has more talent than Arkansas. Come on, man, get real. Come on, man, get real. 8 games is not completely out of the picture, but again, like I said, 8 games is I'm backing off 8 wins. I'm backing off my prediction. How long until they start calling for Odom's head? Oh, they already are. I mean, I'll say this too. They got to get some men on the defensive line. They, like the story goes about Arkansas basketball with Nolan Richardson. Who'd they lose to? UNLV. And someone told Nolan, you got to get some men. I think it's the same thing. I think their defensive line, they've got to get some men. They got to get guys where you feel comfortable up front. You're going to get pressure on the quarterback. You're not going to give up clean pocket passing plays. You're going to have a bigger impact on what a team tries to do in the passing game. They just don't. They have no impact whatsoever. That is the truth of it. That's the truth of it. Got to work the transfer portal. I agree 110% on that. Well, at least Catalan is going to be here next year. There's people thinking that might not be the case. Oh no, I lost my AirPods north side lost, and now Arkansas. Oh, that sucks, crazy. I ran over one of my AirPods, and they're like $80 to replace. Just one. It was like $80. This team was not ready. They weren't ready. Give the D-line steroids and give recruits big cash deals, whatever it takes. I'm willing to cheat. Let's just do it. No. Yeah. officials made some costly calls, but on the team, they were not prepared. Poor execution, poor coaching, play calls, and no intensity. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Ty, you do a damn good job. Great points. Agree with you on most all of them. Thanks. I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's not easy doing post-game shows, especially when you try to interact with chat as much as you can, and especially after losses. Not easy. They're the worst shows to do. And unfortunately, we've had 3 straight that are like this, and they're always the most disliked. Chat always argues, and, you're a moron, and you this, that, and blah, 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 you fat neckbeard, blah, 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 But sometimes truth just hurts. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And I think what I said today is pretty valid. And I think a lot of what I said, most Hog fans would agree with, people who actually watch the game. They got some issues they got to clean up. It's not over with. It's not done. Like I said, I'm backing off my 8-4 prediction. Finally, I am coming off my 8-4 prediction. I don't know where they're at. We're gonna reassess. We're gonna talk about it on Monday and Wednesday, and then we're gonna get prepared for Pine Bluff. I know people lose interest at this point now. You're 3-game loss. People are losing interest, but you know what? I'm gonna be here anyways, doing what I do. So, shout out to the sponsors, by the way. Direct Service Overhead, who will repair or replace your garage door. They do great work. Give Travis Ford and the boys a phone call. Their link is provided for you down below in the description box. And, of course, Stated Apparel, who make the softest shirts right here in the state of Arkansas. Go check them out. Their link is also provided for you down below in the description box. Shout out to both the sponsors. So I'm going to be here no matter what. No matter if I wasn't making a dime doing this or not, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here breaking down as much as I can, doing what I feel like is my job. People are going to disagree with me, downvote, shit talk. I don't really care. Been doing this long enough for that doesn't faze me. I am, by the way, my own worst critic, so that's why it doesn't bother me. But, some people have valid points, right? And you got to acknowledge them. Someone said last night in Discord, you're going to have to score 40 to beat Auburn, period. I thought that was crazy. I was like, no, come on. Surely not. I mean, the defense, Auburn's not an elite offense, and I felt like Arkansas would be able to shut this thing down. They were right. I think it was DB Land who said that in Discord. He was right. I'll tip the cap. People, I definitely don't know everything, and I don't think that I do. I just call it like I see it, and pretty disgusted with what I saw today, but I don't think it's the end of the world. It's tough to watch. Again, like I said, these are the hardest shows to do after games like that. But, it is what it is. Again, if you disagree, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. And, I've invited people to come, hey, let's have a debate. You want to talk about it? Let's go in Discord. Open up voice chat. Let's go. Tell me why I'm wrong. I want to hear it. Tell me in the comments section why you disagree. I'm perfectly okay with that. And I think that's the way things should be. I'm not going to call you a dead-ass moron and all the crap that you read. I'm going to have a conversation. We'll have a debate. We'll argue about it a little bit. That's fine. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong. I think I was wrong on my 8-4. It felt like I was right. And I think a lot of you would agree with that. In the first half of the season, it felt like 8-4 was absolutely – there were people who went from, well, Ty, we're going to win 5 to, well, Ty, we're going to win 10. Right? I always felt like there's still some things to overcome. This is still year 2 with Sam Pittman. They got some things to build, still worried about what's going on the line of scrimmage. I'm still worried about, what's going on really with the defense. There's still some things that concern you, right? But I was comfortable with 8-4, but obviously now I'm not so comfortable with that. I'm coming down off 8-4 for sure. I'm hurting, Ty. What's up, Dwight? How you doing, man? Nix is a whiny crybaby bitch. He is. Talking about they don't get those calls. Man, get the hell out. Trey Biddy going to be walking around with flames coming through his ears. That elite D-line, though, let me tell you something, Carpenter. Let me tell you. I wonder if Hog Twitter pissed off the SEC refs. I don't know, man. But someone needs to be in their ear. Someone in that front office. I stand by what I said. I think Arkansas always gets the bottom of the tier officials. I don't think it's some kind of the Illuminati pulling the strings because they hate Arkansas. I just think you get the worst reps. I think they get the worst. They save those for the bigger games, I guess. I don't know. So Auburn came to play, end of story. Well, I don't think that's end of story. I think you've got other things that went wrong in this game. But they certainly did come to play. There's no doubt about that. But there was a lot more to it than that today. How many players out for the season, Ty? That's all I'm seeing on the chat. I don't know. I have no idea. Catalan, the rumor is he's done for the year. That's the only one that I know of. Dalton Wagner had finger surgery. And I really don't know anything about those kinds of injuries. I don't know how long he's going to be out. I've heard that Utsi might be out for the year. Dorian Gerald, you lost for the year. I don't know beyond that. I said Catalan. I feel like I'm missing somebody. I'm sure there's somebody there. Really can't believe you thought this team. David, my man, there's a door. You can leave. I don't care. I mean, coming off what they did against Texas and how well they played against A&M, who, by the way, beat Alabama. I don't know if you're aware of that, David. But pretty quality win. Both of those were pretty good quality wins. And, yeah, most people thought 8 wins were definitely in front of Arkansas. I guess you're just always – I guess you have a crystal ball. I don't know. Auburn was missing the top linebacker and top defensive tackle. Again, I'm not saying injuries are why Arkansas lost. I'm not making that claim. Isn't Texas playing an undefeated Oklahoma State team today? And they should have beaten OU, but it is the Big 12, I guess. 8 wins were there for the taking. Attrition is hard to predict. Yeah. Arkansas shouldn't have to play a perfect game to beat Auburn. Thank you for that. I agree. They should be able to make minor errors and still win. But I can't see how any team can overcome that much adversity. OSU looks pretty legit, man. And what's crazy is OSU's doing it with defense. In the Big 12, there's a team over there that can actually spell defense. That's incredible. By the way, everyone, say hello to David Coleman, Captain Hindsight. Keep it up, Ty. You the shit. I appreciate that, man. Really do. All right. I think that's it. We're over an hour. OSU good. They could very well. I mean, I don't know that a Big 12 team deserves to be in the 14 playoff, but Oklahoma State might find their way there. They still got to get past Oklahoma. It takes a true fan to be a Hog fan. So much heartache. Oh, brother, ain't that the truth? Yeah. We shouldn't have these many losing streaks with so many teams tie outside Alabama. We beat Texas A&M, and they're going to go to a better bowl than us. Very well might, yeah. Still a lot of football left, but it is hard to be optimistic based on what we've seen 3 straight weeks from Arkansas's defense. It's hard to be optimistic. I think the offense will still find itself. Auburn's not a terrible defense. People were calling Auburn a terrible team. That is not a terrible team. If you think Auburn's terrible, you need to go back and watch how well they played at LSU and on the road against Penn State, top 10 undefeated Penn State at the time. Played pretty damn good. They're a salty road team, and they're, look, that's why I'm not in panic mode. Why I don't think it's all bad now. If this was, I don't know, if Auburn was a 1 or 2 win team and you had this kind of performance, then yeah, then you're panicking. But they're salty. They're salty enough they can win these kind of games. 6-6 looks pretty good in Weed Eater Bowl. Could be. But a lot of people before the season had Arkansas not making a bowl game, 4-8, 5-7, and if they're lucky, 6-6. We'll see. I definitely think a bowl game is still in the picture for Arkansas. Absolutely. Auburn found the end zone against Georgia. We didn't, says Dwight. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. We just need to regroup, work out our kinks. So, all right. Okay. Appreciate it. Hope to see you guys on Monday, 11 o'clock. We're going to try and get caught up on what we witnessed. And I'm sure we'll talk about the red-white scrimmage. I may try to go to that on Sunday. I don't know if any of you plan on going. I might try and make that. You feel like all the excitement just kind of popped, right? I mean, yeah, it's Eric Musselman. It's basketball. It's going to be great, but you felt like this whole weekend could have been a lot of fun had you beat Auburn, and now you have this. And well, that's all right. Eric Musselman's the kind of guy who can create his own excitement and make that a fun environment without a doubt. So Catalan out for the season. I think that had kind of been rumored going into the game. So officials didn't do us any favors today. Boy, they didn't do you any favors, and they kind of kicked you while you were down a couple of times. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to try and regroup, get ready for Pine Bluff next weekend. Appreciate you guys, really do. Patreon supporters, sponsors of the show, you guys in live chat, even though you negative Nancy's in chat and people taking shots at me. I really don't care. Hey, you counted towards a view. I appreciate you being here as well, believe it or not. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Woo pig. Keep your chins up. It's not over yet, but hopefully they can right the ship. That's all you can really say at this point. Woo pig. Yeah, and hit the like button. Try to hit the like button on your way out. Woo pig. See you guys Monday.
At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.